Good evening. I'm Dr. Todd Lofton, principal at Hellstern Middle School, and we would like to welcome you tonight. It's hard to believe that a year has come and gone, isn't it? Yes. Well, I'm pleased to be the principal of these great students, and also to welcome you here tonight to our choir concert. You are going to be amazed and impressed with the work that they've done. And also, I would like to introduce and have you all welcome to the stage our choir director, Mr. Clint Pianalto.
All right, good evening and welcome to the HMS 7th grade choral music program spring concert, 80's Connections. We've had a wonderful year in choir this year. Students have learned the value of a quarter. You've learned to sing like a chicken. You found a pen cap. You listened to history lectures. You've completed math problems, answered writing prompts, and learned about diphthongs. Those are not fancy underwear. It's two vowel sounds next to one another in the English language. Not something you call your sister, although it is funny. We've learned to read and process music notation. We have learned to implement solfege in the process of sight reading music. We have learned about the structures in the body that participate in the act of singing. We have done yoga and we've played bocce. And along the way, we learned a few songs. If you see up here on the board, we've got this choir is ... I give this writing prompt to students on the first day that they enter my classroom. One, to show them that they are going to take out a pencil and write in choir. I believe that students speak with a different voice when they write, and I don't get to know that part of that student unless they write for me. So the first day they write these things, and they're not very elaborate when they first start in choir. I didn't save last year's, but I put a few of them from this year, I saved them, and so I got back and I read everybody's again. And then I had them do this week, and I had them write choir is, and I had them fill it in. And it's amazing to see the things that we talk about in class every day come back. Have your students sit down, your children, and write for you things that you tell them. Just fill a page with stuff I've told you. You'd be amazed at the things they're listening to you about. They don't always do it, but they are listening. And there's a difference between the two. But I find it. Here's some things that students said. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Right? Boo, right? Come on now. This was first break. Here we go, first one. I'll take that. I will take that as well. All right. These were all the different spellings for choir. All right, English teachers. My favorite is chorir. That is awesome. Then, after a year's time, you get comments like this, not from one student, but multiple. The word chorus comes from the Greek word meaning community. It means to come together, and it's not about one person, it's about a community of people coming together to achieve one thing. Young men, 13 years old, they need a place to express their feelings. If you live with one, you know this. And this was on multiple writings. Not everybody was a fan, I guess. And I show you these to show you that a lot of times we sing songs, but what we're doing tonight is just a brief glimpse of what we've done this year. Ready to stand? Women's chorus. Up and go. This is the HMS Women's Chorus. The young ladies that you see before you are made up of 3 classes that combine to make one choir. We have sang together of a total of about 5 times this semester. Tonight they will be using the 1985 hit by Mr. called Kyrie as inspiration for their 4th century chant in Simply Gregorian. Kyrie lays on down the road that I must travel. Like you guys, anybody in here with me, right? All right, so, yeah, thanks. Here all week. We will make some sort of 80s connection to every song we're singing tonight that is not along with the 80s. We will have 4 soloists tonight on this piece: Miss Jade Adams, Miss Isabel Penalto, Miss Allison Flores, and Miss Sam Cabrera. We will go into our second number without applause, and the connection is the Cold War. During the Cold War, fear of nuclear Armageddon and World War III with the Russians created fear in America. The song When I Close My Eyes has a recurring theme that tells us that we will not be afraid. Our final 2 numbers are from the 80s. First will be Let's Hear It for the Boy by Denise Williams. Our small group will be Yesenia Quiros, Anna Seol, Rachel Uzlak, and Myra. Tonight we will be closing with the song Africa by Toto. This is the HMS Women's Chorus. hand one more time for our 80s dress up? I don't know how accurate that was, parents, but maybe we'll see. One of the hardest things we do is not the act of singing, but moving 240 students from point A to point B in the right place. We'll see. Tonight they will be opening with a song called Who Will Be a Witness by Donald Moore. During the 1980s, we witnessed the burst of cell phones, video games, and rap was first introduced, and the Cosbys were on TV. Our second selection will be Vive l'amour, which translates into Long Live Love. It is translated from French. And our connection to French love for the 1980s naturally turns to the 1980s London premiere of Les Mis. Soloists will be Mr. Brytavia Sawyer, Mr. Jackson Black, and Mr. Hunter Mills. Our third number is called Pompeii by the group Bastille, which connects us to the Mount St. Helens eruption of the 1980s. Our soloist will be Chris Pereira, Ben Hannett, Clay Bertram, Riley Lofton will be joining us on piano, and Dawson Watkins on djembe. Chris will jump back down from solo duties and get on the cajon, which is the box that's up here that we got this year. Our final number will be the 1980 smash hit, Hanging Tough. This is the HMS Men's Chorus.
Let every good fellow now join in a song.
Viva la compagnie.
Success to each other and pass it along.
Viva la compagnie. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amour. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amour. Viva l'amour, viva l'amour, viva la compagnie. A friend on the left and a friend on the right. Viva la compagnie. In willing endeavor our hands we unite. Viva la compagnie. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amour. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amour. Viva l'amour, viva l'amour, viva la compagnie.
Should time or occasion compel us to part,
Viva la compagnie.
these days shall forever enliven our heart.
Viva la compagnie. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amour. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amour. Viva l'amour, viva l'amour, viva la compagnie. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amour. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amour. Viva l'amour, viva l'amour, viva la compagnie.
This arrangement was actually written by myself and these men's chorus. They kind of helped in the arranging of the song, and we listened to it, and we watched YouTube videos, and we kind of worked it out. We learned it in solfege, and we kind of processed this. So this arrangement is actually a combination of all of their help along with mine, and we kind of guided this together as a little bit, and we kind of wrote the song ourselves. This is Pompeii by Bastille.
I was left to my own devices. Many days fell away with nothing to show. We were caught up and lost in all of our vices. In your pose as the dust settles around us.
Oh, where do we begin? The rumble of our sins.
do not currently have a class that is just men's honor choir at Hellstern. That will change next year, and there will be a men's honor choir. I've debated over the last 2 years now. This is my second year back in middle school teaching 7th grade. We just really weren't sure that a male honor choir would work, but these guys have given me the hope to believe that a male honor choir would have actually benefited them of being all in one class together. These guys combined from 3 different classes. They're trying to get in a formation they've only been in once. This is a song that they learned for the All-City Choir Festival, and it is a beautiful piece. It's entitled, Set Me as a Seal Upon Your Heart, and one of the 7th graders leaned to me and said, I'm not really getting the analogy. We had to explain that it wasn't a seal, art, but like a pressed seal on a letter. So once we explained that, they were very much better into the song, and they understood where it's coming from. One child just said, oh, I get it now, from stage. Here we go. This is the men's honor choir that will be singing Set Me as a Seal by Laura Farnell. We would like for you to remember that this is a formal concert setting, and much unlike concerts and pep rallies, the audience is not encouraged to scream from the audience. We do ask that you clap politely to show your applause, and if that was one of our students, you do know better than that. You've been taught. Men's honor choir is now going to sit down. Honor choir, you're up. Dona nobis pacem translates from Latin to grant us peace. Our 80's connection is the peace that came for many Germans with the fall of the Berlin Wall. Joshua tells the story of the Battle of Jericho. Our 80s connection is the battle to free the Iran hostages in the 1980s. Our third number is the Star Spangled Banner, and our 80s connection is the boycott to the 1980 Olympic Games. Next, we will sing Bon Jovi's Livin' on a Prayer. Our soloists will be Caitlin Pratt and Mackenzie Chronister. Our final number of the evening will be Thriller by none other than Michael Jackson. Our speaker is Miguel Hernandez, and our amazing choreographer for this song was Miss Rachel Ross. This is the HMS Women's Honor Choir. We'd like to dedicate this song to Miss Dyer. I don't know if she's here, but she's seen Bon Jovi 10 times.
Tommy used to work on the docks. Union's been on strike. He's down on his luck. It's tough. So tough.
Tommy's got his six-string guitar. Now he's holding in what he used to make it talk so tough. It's tough.
We're going to set the stage for our final number here. I would like to recommend there's a couple of camps that are available for this age student. Well, actually one for this age student that we'll be doing in Conway. It's called Arkansas Choral Connections. It's ACC Summer Choir Camp. I went to the first camp when I was a 9th grader going into the 10th grade, and I'm now on the board of directors. I've missed 1 year and 23 years going to this camp. We have actually 5 people on staff that have been there since the beginning, since that first year. And we have about 380 kids that come from all around the state, in the state of Arkansas, that come. We even had Tennessee, Texas, Missouri attend this summer camp as well. So those are flyers out on the front. And if you have any questions about that, you can contact me at school. Also, we're doing a summer camp for entering third graders through entering seventh graders at Hellstern. Myself and the director at Helen Tyson Middle School, Denise Parkhurst, will be doing a summer camp, just introductory to choral basics for any kid, and it's just $40 for a week. It's half days. So if you're interested in that, there's sign-ups out in the lobby for that. There's slips out there. This is our final number of the evening. I want to thank everybody for coming out. This is Thriller.
Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. And though your body starts to shiver,
Thank you for your supporting your child's music education. Thank you guys for coming out tonight.